What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Babbles Nonsense podcast. We have Meenu back today, and she is the host of Transcend into Wellness podcast. And we are here to talk about the things that women are actually thinking but rarely saying out loud. Today, we are diving into the viral conversation that has taken over the internet, and that is having a boyfriend embarrassing? We're breaking down why so many women feel cringe, hesitant, or straight up allergic to publicly claiming a man, especially in a world where independence is currency and your aura is apparently everything. We're going to talk culture, self-worth, soft launching versus hard launching, the psychology behind why we hide relationships, and whether this trend says more about men or about us. Of course, Meenu is a life coach, and she is here to help us unpack the deeper layers, the fear of embarrassment, the identity shift, the societal pressure, and what it really means when you'd rather post your dog than your man. Let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome back to another podcast episode with Babbles Nonsense and Transcend into Wellness. We are going to talk about are boyfriends embarrassing? So there's been a big popular Vogue article recently, trend all over TikTok about is having a boyfriend embarrassing? I personally hadn't seen it until you brought this up. So I was like, oh, interesting topic. And it's not what you think it is. It's not like saying men are embarrassing. It's talking about the woman perspective and how cultural norms are shifting from being man-centered into being self-centered. Well, self-centered sounds kind of bad, but like just kind of owning your own vibe, your own self, and do we need to be classified as a couple and things like that? Wouldn't you agree, Minu?
Yes, completely. It's just, I think there was a significant period of time where women were only valuing themselves when there was a ring in the finger, when they actually had a partner, when they were married. So it's just so interesting to see that shift collectively. And so this article couldn't have been at a better time. And obviously, it is not to like come at anyone that has a boyfriend or come at anyone that has a husband. Like, I'm happily partnered now for many years. It's not about that at all. It's like what Jonna said. It's like, how can we still respect ourselves and find our worth within ourselves instead of outside of us? That's like the whole summary of it.
And I don't have a boyfriend and haven't had one in some time, so I can't relate. So I'm just going to ask a lot of questions. Okay.
Go for it. Yes,
All right.
girl.
So, what do you feel is driving the trend of women saying having a boyfriend is quote unquote embarrassing?
I think for me, what I see in social media, and I'm not only going to take social media into account, I also work with so many female clients that are partnered, that are single, that are married. I've just talked to so many people at this point that I think what's driving this trend is so many things. I think. And I don't want to talk bad about men here, but I just think that collectively what is happening is women are evolving and growing rapidly, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually. Not that men are not growing. A few of them are very connected and deeply connected to themselves and are growing too, but a lot of them aren't. So what's happening is they get into relationships, they start dating, and then things go sour so quickly. They tell their friends, they tell their family before that, and then it becomes kind of embarrassing for them because it didn't last. Like nothing sticks. Like they're not emotionally mature, they're not willing to meet us where we are. So this is collectively happening. I'm so sorry if you're a male and listening to this. Glad you're listening to our podcast. But this is something that's collectively happening. Like even my boyfriend agrees with this, even though he's a man.
Clearly, this is a huge trend for Vogue to pick up the article and, which I'm not going to lie, I didn't read the entire article. I had ChatGPT summarize it for me because when you talked about this topic, I was like, oh, I haven't heard about it. Let me just get ChatGPT to summarize this for me. I do a lot of reading in my job, so I know my book club hates when I say that as an excuse for not reading the book, but I'm like, y'all have no idea. I read like 12 hours a day. Anyways, I agree with everything you said. And then something I think, and I don't know if this is part of the Vogue article that I have kind of started like looking at, I've been in book club, we've been reading books from the past or history or whatnot. And we quickly forget that women's whole identity was a man not that long ago, like I want to say, I know I've mentioned this on the podcast before. I want to say that women couldn't even divorce a man until the 1950s. And
Mhm.
so you had to literally depend on a man's income or their name, their status to even survive in society. There was
Mhm.
a book we read. It's called The Small But Mighty. And I hope I don't get any of these facts wrong, but I'm pretty sure I probably will. There was a lady in either the early 1900s or close to 1920s where her husband had passed away. And in that time, the state law was when the husband passed away, everything went to the state, not to the spouse. So the state came and took her house, her money, the bank accounts, everything, and she had to start all over from scratch.
That sounds very painful.
So I think that people forget that wasn't that long ago. And so
Mhm.
I think that now that we are getting, more into the, years and whatnot, and it's 2025, we're on the cusp of 2026, that people forget that women now have autonomy and we
Mhm.
are making good money and we are able to do things and we're able to have babies later and things like that. So I think it's just more like we can, and we are just now
Yes.
like realizing it.
Right. And I think another major thing that's happening is, like you just said, women are making money. So I think that has changed, shifted things collectively on a huge level, because that used to be one of the main factors why women depended on men. And
Right.
so, women, if I'm a woman and I'm making a shit ton of money, and I can go to a sperm bank and get pregnant, and I have like best friends around me, what has happened right now is, and I see this so much with, again, my clients, my girlfriends, like so many people around me, is they're starting to ask this question: what value does he bring that I already don't have?
Right.
What is he bringing that I can give to myself?
Right. And then I think that kind of spun off, and I don't know if it came from this, but have you seen on TikTok the trend where it's like the soft man era, where it's like all these men are like, you're going to pay for the meal and like
Yes.
tell it like almost like gender reversed roles. And like, then you have these guys like kind of like making fun of that, saying like, what is this soft man era? Like, just like you said, like, why would a woman date you when she can provide all that herself when you're not bringing any value to the table?
Mhm.
Because it's
1000.
not about status and money anymore. Like it's not about like, oh my gosh, like how much do you make? It's like I also make that. So like I don't need you to do that. And
Mhm.
then I don't know. I haven't talked to I should probably we should get your boyfriend on here for real.
We
And
will.
we should ask like, back in the day it used to like men used to feel emasculated when the woman made more money or whatever. I
Mhm.
wonder how like that trend is going now with
You
society
know,
changes.
that's a really interesting thing. This is my take on it. And again, I have male clients too, but just a very small percentage of male clients. Most of them are female clients. What I have seen with men is when they are secure in who they are and they are secure in the value that they bring, they have absolutely no problems when the woman is making more or as much as them, or is like multiple steps more successful than they are. I actually know these people. I have friends whose husbands are like that. I even know like husbands that are stay-at-home dads when their wives are making like a
Yeah.
lot of money. So I think it all boils down to your self-concept. Like, what do you think about yourself? Are you secure in yourself, whether you're a male or female? Do you have that within yourself? And I feel like if you haven't done the work on that aspect, it's going to be triggering when she's going to be making more money.
Right, right, right. I was just curious because like I feel like all of this is kind of related in a way, like the TikTok trends and this article and stuff like that. I feel like it's all related because I have seen a lot of it on my algorithm.
Mm.
So, but do you feel that this is a real cultural shift or do you feel like it's more social media driven?
Okay, this is going to be a controversial answer. I believe, again, my take is social media picks up on what's happening in the collective.
Okay. That makes sense. I
So,
mean, it does.
yes,
But
so it's a big collective shift. And I've seen this happening in the last, to be really specific, in the last 2 years. It was slowly starting to like shift there, but in the last 2 years, it started to shift there even more. And in the last 1 year, oh my God, it's like almost people are waking up to a new reality or
okay,
something.
that makes sense. Why do you feel that some women feel either like shame, cringy, or loss of power when they're publicly claiming a boyfriend? And when I saw this, I was like I don't see a lot of Facebook status relationships now. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, it was like, are you single, taken, married? It's complicated.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's like I
yeah.
have a lot of friends that I know are in happy relationships and they have no Facebook status at all.
Oh yeah, I get it, girl. And the reason is because, to be really honest, the rates of divorce and the breakups have gone up so much higher significantly compared to before, that women are starting to wake up to the reality that we don't even know if this is permanent. Like, I could be in a happy relationship today, and tomorrow that may not happen. That's not even the thing. It's not even what's going on in your own mind, but think about the feeling that they have when they tell their friends that, or tell their family. They're like saying, oh, I'm dating this amazing man. Oh, I'm engaged to this amazing man, and he does this and he does that. And then because of the rates that are so high in breakups and divorce, the percentage is so high, so the probability is higher to go through a breakup or a divorce. So they just don't want to tell all their friends, celebrate, make a big deal, and change their status in social media, and then be
Because
like,
that is
oh,
embarrassing.
exactly, it is. Because, and then oh, I say I broke up and he broke up with me, or this happened. And then, the worst part about that is you have to go and tell everybody. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to, you will. But if you have a lot of friends, they're going to come and ask you what happened. So you have to tell them the whole story.
Yeah.
So it is embarrassing, especially when you didn't see it happen, when you didn't see it coming.
Right. Well, and I think yeah. And then it's like, it's even more embarrassing to publicly share that. Like, there's a lot of situationships. I'll say that I'm in a lot of situationships. And then if I'm updating my status, that's going to be changing every other damn day. It's, we're together, we're not together, we're together. And then people are like, then people are in your business
They
and
are.
asking you, like, what are you doing? And then I'm nosy. I know my friends are nosy. If I see something like that, if I see someone like take off their marriage thing, I'm like texting a friend that knows them and I'm like, hey, did you see this? You think there's
Mm-hmm.
so to me that is where it becomes embarrassing. It's not actually having the boyfriend that's embarrassing, but it's like if you're in this situationship or you're
Right.
in the complicated whatever they are and you're every
Mm-hmm.
other day changing your social status,
Mm-hmm.
that can
Mm-hmm.
be embarrassing.
Absolutely. You want to know what's embarrassing for me?
What's that?
What's embarrassing for me is I cringe a little bit, and maybe this is something that I need to work on, is when I see people that center their marriage and relationship too much. When I open
Yeah.
their social media feed and it's just lovey-dovey pictures everywhere. It's just pictures with the boyfriend everywhere. The stories are about it. It's about love. It's about this. And for me, and I'm not trying to be a pessimist. I wouldn't consider. I think I'm an optimist. I don't think I'm a pessimist, but I'm also a realist in most of the situations. And when I see that, I just want to like shake you and be like, listen, you can have fun, and your life is like so worthy with or without that. It doesn't have to just be about that.
Yeah, and I do have some friends like that. I have some friends that like if it's a girls' night or something, or they'll be like, "Can I bring my husband or my boyfriend?" I'm like, "It's a girls' night." I'm like,
Exactly.
no. Um,
Yeah.
so I do have some friends like that, and the one thing I'll take away that my aunt gave me advice about, her husband died when he was in his 50s, my uncle, because he got esophageal cancer, something that you don't go into a marriage thinking is going to happen. And
Mm,
she told me that she was so grateful that she did not center her life around that marriage. She loved her husband. She loved him like it was her best friend. It devastated her. But
mm,
she had a life outside of her marriage. She had best friends that she had traveled with and done things with. And she said those people were able to surround me and keep
mhm,
me afloat when, one of the most tragic things happened in my life. And she said, had I not had that, had I just been so consumed in everything about him, she was like, how could I then reach out to my friend that I discarded 10 years ago
mm.
because I only wanted to be around my husband?
Absolutely. And I think this is something that's so important to mention. And it's timely that we're recording this podcast because I just had a girls' trip and I had gone to like Houston last weekend with two of my girl best friends. And one of my closest friends, she was like, oh, I just had like an epiphany that the security that we have with each other is going to be any day higher than the security we have with our significant other. And we couldn't help but say yes,
Mm-hmm.
because that is the reality these days.
Right.
It's that there's no security. It's not that, we don't love them or we don't care for them or we don't trust them, but we live in that day and age where that is not there. So if you're putting all your eggs in one basket, and when I say all your eggs in one basket, meaning a man in this situation, what's going to happen if the man disappears? What's going to happen if he leaves, if he breaks up with you, or if he dies in the
Hmm.
situation you said? You have no tools. You have not equipped yourself with anything to regulate yourself, to feel good just by yourself without that person.
Right. No, I kind of like, I'm actually talking about this in therapy now, and this has like not that I'm in a relationship. Um, but I had tendencies of doing that. Not that I would like not hang out with my friends and stuff because I still would, but I had tendencies of losing who I was when
Mhm,
I really liked someone because I was so afraid that if I did something wrong, they'd be mad, whatever.
mhm,
And I realized like then you don't like when that ends, what do you have then to self-regulate? Because if you've lost yourself, you
mhm.
don't know, you no longer know what makes you happy.
1000%. And I am very against when somebody says, especially when a client, and I'm pretty frank in my style of coaching. And if they say he completes me, I will say, I'm so happy for you that you found joy and love in your life. I will never take that away from you. But I would also like invite you into reframing that, because what that does for you in your subconscious mind is it tells you that you are not complete without that person.
Right,
It
correct.
affirms that internal cultural belief or whatever familial belief that you have. So it's not healthy to even like say these things anymore. And another thing that I've been noticing with women is a lot of them are becoming more cautious, and they're only announcing their relationships when they get engaged.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, that's what I was going to talk to you about next. So, like, there's this whole social media trend on the quote unquote soft launch of a boyfriend.
Mhm.
Like it'll be like, like a picture with her arm extended and the boyfriend's got his face away from the camera and his hands holding her hand, or maybe the boyfriend's holding the phone with his hand out, like touching her shoulder, or so, just a
Yes.
very like so it's the girls are letting the world know, hey, I'm taken, but I'm not letting you know who my man is because we know how y'all bitches be on social media. What do you think about that? Do you think that's more of a self protection of the relationship, or do you think that's more of a my boyfriend's embarrassing and I don't want to show him?
I think it's both. For example, I have never like completely launched, my person on social media, and it comes from a perspective of it is none of y'all's business to know who
Right.
he, like really, truly, and kindly, not like arrogantly, not that I'm not telling you, oh, he's great or I'm great. No, no, no. It's just, when you care about certain things, you want to protect it,
Yeah.
and it comes from that place.
And I agree. Like I used to be like, "Ah, but I just, I want this to like be seen or whatever. But the older I get, I think the more I'm learning to respect, like even like when we've talked in our sessions and how I would vent to my friends about, me being mad or something, I'm starting to learn like that's not even respectful of the relationship and that's not protecting your peace because we vent about bad things most of the time. We're typically not, you're not coming up to me and going, "Oh my gosh, let me tell you what my boyfriend did last night and how sweet he was." You're like, we're not doing that as friends. I don't know why the human brain does that. We don't do it like we just don't do it with anybody. We don't talk about the positives in someone else. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm learning to do that myself and like even when it's venting, like no, you don't have to go vent to no one. Deal with it.
And you know what else?
Self-regulate.
Yeah, and you know what else happens with venting? It's like they'll come and vent to you so horribly to a point where they're almost contemplating a breakup and how miserable they are. And then they'll go make up with their boyfriend or husband or partner. And then you are left sitting with whatever they, told you about. And so your impression of the partner now has forever like changed.
Right.
So I mean, it takes maturity. Like it took me immense training and maturity to not take it personal when somebody is venting to me. Because
Yes.
initially I would get like really, I would be like, wait, girl, you just told me all these horrible things and you've made up with him immediately, like without
Yep.
even talking about these issues, without going in therapy, without fixing these things. You just immediately said, okay. And so I would get like really anxious for them and I would start overthinking for them. And then now I'm at a place where I don't take it personally, even when somebody wins, and I'm just like a safe space, and I
Yeah.
just ask questions, and I'm not expecting them to do anything. So it took me a while to get to that place, but sometimes it can be a lot when they're venting to you and then going back and getting back together with them, and it's just changed so quickly.
And yeah, and then speaking of like all this social media stuff, like the soft launch and the girls no longer like posting their boyfriends all the time, and this the Facebook statuses. Do you feel like maybe women are taking a page out of the men's playbook where men tend to keep relationships more private and we're just like, you know what, maybe that was a good thing that men do. But then also on the flip side of that, how do you discern if someone is keeping you a secret versus just wanting the relationship to stay private?
Oh, that's a good one. If you asked me that, I don't think that women are actively thinking, let's take a page out of men's playbook. I don't think it comes from that angle or that perspective. I just truly see and believe, because of me talking to so many people every day, is it does come from the perspective of the amount of failure, and the rates of failure is so freaking high.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not to embarrass themselves, because they post it and then they take down all the pictures.
Yep.
Some of them might DM you and be like, "Hey girl, what happened?" You
Yep.
know,
You're right. You're right.
you were so happy. Well, and then it takes tremendous, and this is the thing. I like, if I was on the other end of that and I had a lot of pictures and I took it down, and if somebody asked me, I don't think I would be embarrassed to explain what happened. But it
Okay.
still takes tremendous amount of strength to own it and be like, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened. And I'm okay that I posted this. I'm also okay that I took it down. It takes a lot of self-worth and strength and emotional regulation to even be able to say that to someone. So I truly believe it doesn't come from that playbook. It is just that women are waking up to reality.
Well, how can someone then like learn their own identity or feel confident in their own identity without getting swallowed up into the relationship? How can someone work on that? Because I know like we've talked before on other podcasts where you say that you don't feel that someone has to leave a relationship to work on themselves and things like that. You say it can be done in the relationship.
Absolutely.
So, how can a woman then work on like yielding to their identity, holding strong in it without quote unquote feeling embarrassed by their relationship?
Hmm. So I guess you asked me two different questions here,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I think the first question was more, how do you do the work when you're still in a relationship, correct? Can I answer
Yeah,
that first?
like more on yourself though, like holding on to your identity without becoming a different identity within a relationship. Like without becoming one of those women that, their whole identity is I'm just a mom or I'm just a wife. But no, you're so much more than that. You are an entrepreneur, you're a healthcare provider, you're a fitness queen. You're so much more than just identifying with that relationship. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I would totally reflect on your life before you met this person, before you got married, before you were a mom, before you were a girlfriend. Like, what are the things that you did which filled your cup? And ask yourself a question. Am I still doing these things while I am with this person? If
Okay.
you've fallen back on your workouts, if you've fallen back on self-care, if you've fallen back on girls' night, you're no longer meeting your friends that much, you're no longer, meditating. You are not doing the things that used to keep you sane, that used to fill your cup. But you're saying, oh my God, I'm in a relationship and I'm so freaking happy. He makes me so happy. He gives me everything. Well, I'm happy for you. I'm really happy for
Keywords
you.
you just said. He makes me happy.
Exactly. But what happens when the he is gone? Then you're left by yourself with a hole in your heart and a wound in your heart. Because guess what you did? You fell off. You stopped your workout. You stopped your inner work. You stopped your meditation. You stopped hanging out with your girlfriends. So now you're left with that hole and that wounding, because guess what? You let somebody else fill it for you when you should have been doing that work yourself, by yourself, with or without the man. You have to do it even when you're dating. And let me tell you guys this. This is cringy, but I'm going to admit it because I'm just going to be vulnerable. I used to be that girl.
Me
I
too.
used to be in my teens, I used to be super, super male centric. I used to center men because I come from that culture. I come from that conditioning. It's extremely deep rooted in my culture and in my conditioning that a man has to be served. Like, oh, you serve the man, like you treat him like a king. It's not the other way around. It was never thought that, oh, a man treats you like a queen, like you need to accept that. That needs to be your self concept. Never,
Yeah.
never. It was always the other way around. So I used to be that girl. And then I have lost myself so much in relationships, right? Where to a point where when something happens, when we're having a fight or when we're having a break or a breakup happens, I am left alone by myself.
And it's very
Wonder-
painful.
It's so painful, wondering, oh my God, I am so lost. Who am I?
Right.
I've been in that position a few times, and that was so painful. So I made a decision in my mid 20s. I'm not going to do this to myself.
No, I get it. And all that to say, like, I feel like there's a balance, right? Like, we're not telling you to go out here and be like, screw men, F men, we don't need them. We're not saying there's a
Exactly.
balance in staying, I guess what I was trying to say earlier, staying rooted in who you
Yes.
are while
Yes.
also simultaneously having
Mhm.
a healthy, happy relationship.
1000%. And then a moment of like empathy also that I want to offer for the women listening to this. When you get into a relationship, when you have this new love, when you have this like new marriage and things like that, there is so much chemicals that are going on. There's dopamine, there's serotonin, there's oxytocin. You are flooded with these happy hormones. So when you are flooded with these happy hormones, you naturally tend to believe that, oh my God, this is wonderful. This is beautiful. I don't need to be doing anything other than just being in this happy bubble. I don't need to be doing the workout. I don't need to meditate. I'm already happy. I'm already fixed. And that happens. And then you have to retrain yourself because let me tell you, the chemicals do not last.
Yeah.
They don't last.
Yeah.
In a relationship, there is this thing called honeymoon phase. That's what we call it. The first 3 months is when the first mask falls off with both parties. In the first 6 months, the second mask falls off. And then after 1 year, it actually takes 1 year for the honeymoon to fade out completely and for you to see your real selves. And this is why I tell my female clients over and over and over again, do not get engaged before that 1 year mark.
Yeah.
Don't do it. I don't care how
Yeah.
much you love him. Don't do it.
Well, they even say like you don't truly know someone until you live with them.
1000%.
That's what they tell me. I don't know. I've never lived with a man.
In 1000%, you don't know them because you're not dealing with everything. You're not dealing with their bad days, their bad moments. Think about it this way. If y'all are in your own respective houses and y'all are meeting each other like 2 times or 3 times a week, y'all are meeting each other in a happy state. You all want to only show the best parts of yourselves. So
Right.
where do you see the negative parts? Where do you see when he's sulky, when the internet is really slow? That was like a joke for a long time. Like put a man where with a very slow internet and test his patience to see how he handles it, like whether he's patient. That was such a big joke, in the internet.
Hmm.
But you just don't know a lot of things.
Right.
And I will always say, have a couple of fights. Not that you start a fight. I'm not crazy to
Right.
say fight, but wait for a couple of conflicts and differences to arise and then see how conflict management is handled in the relationship.
Yeah. Like I think I sent you a TikTok and I think earlier, and it was like the lady was basically saying, how wait until you see someone handles conflict and that's who they truly are.
1000%.
Like if someone's going to shut down, walk away, not want to communicate, that's who they are. If the other person's like willing to communicate, talk through it, then that's who they are.
1000%. I mean, not to go beat around the bush and talk about all this, guys, but this is kind of relevant
Yeah.
article. This is kind of relevant to relationship. This is relevant to love. That's why we're like going deeper, not just talking about the surface of the article, but going deeper into relationships these days.
And on the flip side of that, like I know you work with a lot of powerful clients that make, a lot of money and things like that. So, what would you say the reason for like the quote unquote powerful women are so afraid of quote unquote looking stupid in a public relationship?
Can you reframe that question a little bit?
So like, I feel like we just talked about how to keep your identity and stuff like that in a relationship, but I feel like someone who already knows their identity, they're rooted in their identity, they're a very powerful woman, whether they're a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, they're a
Right.
celebrity, they're making millions of dollars.
Yep,
How
yep.
did those women who are so rooted in who they
Mhm.
are
Mhm.
get into a relationship because I feel like those women more are so like, I don't want to be embarrassed by
Mhm.
somebody who's either not on my status or not on my wavelength or, doesn't carry what I carry. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 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 it does. I would say it again comes down to your self-worth. Are you taking your relationship and deciding that your relationship dictates your worth? You see what I'm trying to say
Mm-hmm.
here?
Yeah.
It's and we used to do this time like for decades, which is sometimes we will marry up and we will date somebody that makes more
Right.
because of the weight that it carries in the society.
Right.
Now, what's happening? Women are making more money. Women are also making money as much as men are.
Mm-hmm.
So what it comes down to is value exchange. It's not just, oh, he makes more money, I'm more powerful, I make more, he makes less. It comes to more of a value exchange. So I actually believe that women that are that powerful, like you said, are already rooted, know who they are. They don't get with men for money. They are getting with men for value.
Right.
He giving me something that I already don't have.
And so you think it may be a little easier for them because they're not looking for status or anything. They already have it all.
Yes. I
Okay.
would say this is the thing, right? We can talk about it like a debate, right? It's like it's easier and it's harder. The
Yeah.
reason I say it's harder is because if a woman
Intimidating.
that's exactly. It's going to be intimidating for the man. So if a man is not secure enough in his own skin, he's always going to feel, oh my God, she's so successful. She might leave me. I'm not making that much. I'm not, that good looking, whatever runs in their minds. So again, it's easy, but it's also difficult in another level.
Right. With that being said, how can someone know if they're truly embarrassed because of their partner or because of social expectations?
Hmm.
Like
I
sometimes I feel like maybe someone's not posting their relationship because people have opinions. This world is not afraid to put their opinion on any and everything. Oh my gosh, you're back with them. Why would you do that? And so it's almost like you're already inviting the world. Like, we're not like, I wouldn't say we're like, yes, we're content creators. Yes, in our own cities, people know us when we walk around because of what we do, but we're not on the level of like, reality stars and stuff like that. But I've heard like interviews and stuff, podcasts with reality stars after they've gone on like Love Island or whatever it may be. And then they come off. It's like the one thing they all say is, I did not realize how much hate, you know, for no reason. You don't even know me. You don't even know this, but how much hate. Like, look, when people come off of Love Island and they're coupled up or whatever, people are like, y'all aren't going to last. That's fake. That ain't real. And like everyone wants to offer their opinion on that relationship that they truly don't know anything about.
That's very true. And this is what I'll say about that, right? If you don't have a thick skin, if you don't feel protected by yourself in your energy, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not to avoid people. It's not, oh, I'm so scared what they'll say. It's not that. It's just like I said, you protect what you love. You are just more cautious. You're just more conscious. And you're like, is it necessary for me to like make this public? Is it necessary for me to broadcast this? And I would even check in with yourself and ask, why do I want to broadcast it? Am I looking for validation? Am I looking for likes? Am I looking for comments? Because now that's a deeper thing. Because
Right.
if you're looking for that, then are you not secure enough in your relationship? Don't you just feel good enough the way you both are without publicizing it?
Right. And going back to something I just remembered now that you said that earlier, like we as women, when men do this to us, like when men are like, they're not posting or whatnot, we automatically in our mind, well, maybe not all of us, but some of us automatically assume, well, why do you want to keep us a secret? Is there somebody else you want to see? Is there somebody else you want to date? But
Mhm.
on the flip side of that, we're doing it and men aren't going, well, why don't you want to post us? Is there another man out there? Do you want somebody in your DMs? I do genuinely think that is a part of it sometimes. And I'm not saying for women, but like, how do you know how that, I think we got off topic earlier when I asked, how do you discern whether you're a man or a woman if someone's not posting you out of quote unquote embarrassment, out of I don't want nobody to know we're dating because I got a side chick on the side and I don't want them to know. Like, how do you know when someone's truly doing it for this sacrifice of the relationship versus their identity versus the safety versus I want to still hook up with other people?
Right. I would really observe if you're a woman and listening to this, and if a man is not posting you, and again, there is no right or wrong here, I would observe how he treats you in public. How is he treating you when you go to places where his friends are and your friends are? Is he treating you like you're his woman? Is he showing you off? Is he affectionate? Is he showing that, not physically, but is he even showing that he loves you or cares for you?
Mm-hmm.
Because if there's embarrassment in posting you, and if there's secrecy in posting you, then that energy is actually going to be shown in other places where there are other people publicly. So
Right.
that's a very good way to find out if, is he really embarrassed of you? Is he dating someone else? Like, and I'm not telling you to be toxic and, go and check his DMs and go and check his messages. No,
Mm-hmm.
just the energy. Like, women have this gift of heightened intuition for a reason. We call it women's intuition for a reason.
Yeah.
I think when you don't trust that, and when you're blindly believing everything, that's when you get into trouble. So my answer is going to be a little complicated. I will never say, "Oh, he has to post you. Oh, he shouldn't post you," because again, social media is a huge validation platform for
Right.
me. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
So he can or he can't, but watch his energy. See how he treats you around other people and around his friends, around your friends. Watch that closely, and then you will be able to like find out.
I also do think there is a subtle difference, with women posting that they are taken. They may not be posting the full photo of their man. They may, like I said, they may be posting just a hand or something here or there. I think that is showing like other men, like that may be scrolling their page. I am taken. I'm just keeping my relationship private. Whereas if someone's saying, nah, I'm not posting anything at all, and it makes them look completely single. I think
Mm.
there is a subtle difference there. I don't think it's a double standard. I know someone's probably going to say that that's a double standard that women can do that, men can't. But I think there's two different agendas with it.
Mhm.
Um, that's
I
just
would,
my personal
I would
belief.
kind of say that, right? Men generally, I've noticed, don't post women that much because they also don't want other men staring at them. They don't want other men looking at, oh my God, she's a bombshell. Look at her. Like, and you know how men visualize, like
Hmm.
men think about it. They picture the woman in their heads and they
Yeah.
do certain things, right? And so I've noticed, and I've actually talked to men before, and before all this happened, is they are protective in those aspects because they don't want to like publicly put their woman out because they're not protective of
Right.
women and the looks and her as a human.
I just don't. This may be off topic, but it may be related. I also sometimes the quote unquote embarrassment, like when people, so like if I post a guy and I tag him in it,
Hmm.
we all know the people swirling the page are clicking on the photo, going to the tag, going to his photo, looking at his photo, going to the people who liked his photo, then going to those people's photo and seeing if he's like it. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and seeing, oh, now your man, I've just done a whole investigation. I just saw that your man has liked 20,000 blondes photos. You don't even have blonde hair.
Yep. Yep.
Embarrassed.
Yep. It is.
Then they
It
go to
is.
the followers. Who is he following? Oh, 20,000 OnlyFans, 20,000, supermodels, 20,000, oh, that's embarrassing.
Hmm. It is. It
So
is.
I think a lot of it too is women are super investigators. Like we all should be FBI
I
agents.
know we really do.
And I just don't understand why men haven't still caught on to that. Like still haven't caught on to that. Like they still do it.
Yeah, they do.
Do you remember? This is way off topic. Back in the day when
Mhm.
Facebook and Instagram used to tell you when it would
Oh,
say,
that was the absolute worst.
it would
He
say,
liked this
mean
person's
you
photo.
liked this photo, mean you commented on this person's photo. That was the absolute best because you couldn't do shit without your other partner knowing about it. And then it would alert, like if we were friends, it would alert me, mean you liked.
Yes, that's so true. And it'll also say who you followed. It's
Yep.
bad shit. It would just
Yep.
say anything. But I guess the algorithm or the internet, Instagram,
Oh, I
they
think people
picked
were getting caught cheating all the time, and I think they had to take it
exactly.
away.
It was like bloodshed. It was literally like war, right? So I
Right.
think they changed the features because it was getting too much. People know too much now. It's no longer a secret. So absolutely, like that was an era which was wild.
Wild, wild. So if y'all are younger than that, it was wild in these streets.
It
But
was.
getting back on topic, why do you feel that some women feel embarrassed to even admit that they are liking someone or that they want a relationship?
There is a lot of reasons about it. I have noticed this with a group of women that are single. I actually coached a client on this. It's funny you're asking me this a couple weeks ago. Is that she said that she has four single friends. They hang out all the time, and she started liking this man. And so she doesn't want to tell them because it's like they're going to be like coyotes, not in terms of, oh, I want that man too, not like that, but almost like, are you sure you like him? Why do you like him? And asking too many questions, almost pressurizing her and forcing her to unlike him.
Yep.
And not in a malicious way, but because they valued the single friend so much, they valued the girlfriend so much. And now suddenly one of them is going to go and be in a relationship. It threatens them to some degree because the dynamic is changing. So they
Yep.
also hide that because they don't want the dynamic to change and they don't want to be attacked or questioned or interrogated by their own girlfriend. So sometimes they don't do that.
I think that is so true. When you said that, I was like, yeah, that is so true. Well, like for example, I'm not saying any of my friends do that to me, but I've been single for a really long time, so I can see like I'm thinking of a few like personalities of my friends that would be like, we don't want that for you. We don't want that for you. But I do have a couple more questions to kind of wrap this up, but then I want to ask you some rapid fire, some funny questions about embarrassments and just relationships in general. So, if a woman does feel embarrassed to have a boyfriend, what questions do you think she needs to ask herself to understand why she's feeling embarrassed?
Are you embarrassed because of your friends? Are you embarrassed because of how society might judge you? Are you embarrassed because you want to post on social media and you're afraid of the comments and what people are going to say? Are you embarrassed for your own values or because it violates your own values and you wanted to be single and now you have a boyfriend? Or are you embarrassed because of external validation or unvalidation or non-validation, whatever you call it, like external criticisms of you having a boyfriend? So those are like the really important things.
Okay. And how can we shift the narrative from quote unquote embarrassing to intentional when it comes to relationships?
I really feel that you have to ask yourself if you're ready. If you're not ready, truly ready, and you get into it for societal reasons, again, oh, I'm touching 30 or I'm touching 35, I need to get into it. All my friends are now committed in a relationship and married, so I need to get into it. I think those things can avoid the embarrassment and turn it more intentional because if you are not ready and you're doing it for other reasons outside of you, it is going to be embarrassing at some point because you're not in integrity, you're not intentional.
I agree. And the biggest question of all for this podcast is, do you feel like having a boyfriend is embarrassing?
Not at all.
Me either.
Not at
Me either.
all.
I know, guys, it sounded like we were feeling that way throughout this podcast, but we both don't feel that way. We just thought it was a very interesting topic.
It is such an interesting topic, guys, that Vogue British released an article. This is what I'm talking about. Like, Vogue is one of the leading magazines in the world. And if Vogue is releasing such an article, that means we need to understand how much of a collective shift is happening with women these days. That is more of the podcast topic than saying, oh, this is embarrassing, this is good, this is
Yeah.
bad. We are just wanting to talk to you guys about how much the world is shifting, how much the collective is shifting, how much women are seeing things for what they are and not rose tinted glasses anymore.
And I don't think they truly meant like embarrassing. I think that was just a kind of a clickbait title.
Exactly. It is.
And to kind of be like, what is having a boyfriend embarrassing? And then when you read it, it's more talking about like what we were talking about, the collective shift of how women don't feel that they need this unless it truly is bringing some. You got to be bringing something, you got to be bringing pretty much 150% at this point to be entering my life.
No, this is also a trend. And again, I'm not trying to say this about every man. I'm just talking about a trend. So don't come at me. Is what women are saying now, which is also going viral, which is following the collective, is, and what do they say about this? A very good man is an average woman.
I haven't heard that, but now it's probably going to be all over my TikTok.
Yes, a very good man is an average woman because this is another thing that I talk to some of my girlfriends about. And this was a couple years ago when we were having a conversation, and one of my girlfriends was saying that I give her, and I'm not tooting my horn at all. This is a real conversation that happened. She said, I give her more comfort, more emotional support, and more validation than her husband does. And that's sad.
It is. It is. But in that, now that like I've had conversations with people that I've been in situationships or wanted to date, and my whole thing is I'm looking for my best friend. And that is very hard to find. Like
Exactly.
I want someone that I can depend on, that I can talk to, that I can vent to, that I can feel safe in a safe space. And I
Mhm.
understand that there's going to be arguments and I understand that there's going to be fights, but I want someone who I can feel safe with, that's not going to run away when times are just a little too hard, and someone who it's you know this because you've been in a relationship before. It is literally you have to wake up every day and say, I choose this person.
Exactly. And this is, I mean, to sum it up, guys, one thing I will say is like love is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Love is not a feeling. A lot of us think love is a feeling. Oh, when the feeling fades, love disappears. Well, I'm sorry, you haven't made a choice to love that person. Like I said, the chemicals will die down. I don't know, I can like put it in a big mic and like explode it all over the world. Don't get with someone just because it feels good. No, no, no. Look at actual values. Are you really compatible? Do you guys want the same things? And also, coming back to the point before I sum it all up, is are you doing the things you used to do when you were single? Like, are you in a relationship or married right now and still honoring those self-care things? Are you still going to the gym? Are you still taking care of yourself even though you're with a man, and not just giving it all up because you're with a man and he fills your cup or he completes you? Like, so that is a very big inquiry that I just want you guys to just think about after, listening to this.
All right, so I have a few rapid fires, and some are going to be different. Some are going to be multiple choice. Some are going to be would you rather. Okay. Say the first thing that comes to your mind. All right. Hard launch, soft launch, or don't even tag me.
Sorry. I have to laugh before I answer this. Okay, my answer is soft launch and don't even tag me.
Same.
Yep.
What's more embarrassing, a boyfriend or matching Christmas pajamas?
Ooh, both. I'm kidding. Matching Christmas pajamas.
Okay. Would you rather a boyfriend or unlimited solo vacations?
Ooh. I'm going to give you a mixed answer. Boyfriend with vacations and solo vacations.
You can't do that. You got to pick one or the other, but okay, I'll give it to you.
I have to pick one or the other, unlimited solo vacations.
Okay. If a man posts you first, do you A, celebrate, B, panic, C, assume he's cheating?
That's too funny. None of the above. None.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Red flag you would ignore because he smells good.
You cannot do this to me because that's my Achilles heel. You can't do that.
What red flag would you ignore if he just smelled really good?
If he smelled really good, I would ignore his taste in music.
What's more terrifying, meeting his mom or letting him follow you on TikTok?
At this point, letting him follow me on TikTok.
Same time. Like, let me meet your mom all day. Please do not follow me on TikTok. If he asks, quote unquote, what are we? Do you A, run, B, pretend you didn't hear it, C, open a Google document?
Open a Google document.
What's more embarrassing, saying my boyfriend or admitting you still reply with WYD?
Ooh, that's a tough one. You got me
I'm going to say
there. That's what
WYD.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say. Yeah, I was
I
gonna
don't think
land on.
anybody's doing that anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. More likely to end the relationship, or which one of these scenarios are you more likely to end the relationship? He posts a cringy caption. He claps when the plane lands. He uses Snapchat in 2025.
Oh, Snapchat. I just can't. You don't
Women can, men
understand.
can't. And I know that's a double standard. I Snapchat my best friend all the time, but it's different for
Yeah,
women because we
it
ain't
is
cheating on
different.
you.
I'm sorry, guys. It is just I'm so sorry for this double standard, but it's the reality. It's
I
just
know.
is. Mhm.
All right. Is having a boyfriend embarrassing or is it just your taste in men?
It is your taste in men.
I know she was talking to me about that. But, anyways, worst thing a man can say when soft launching you. This one, she cool, my friend.
Oh my God. Wait, soft launching you?
Yeah,
Soft
like if the
launching.
guy is soft launching you, which one is the worst they can put as a caption? This one, she
Mhm.
cool, my friend.
Oh, my friend.
Yeah,
Ew.
my friend.
Ew.
No girl wants to be called their that
No,
no.
no, no.
If men come with return policies, how many days would you need?
Wow. I like to feel it out and see how things go. So I would say 60.
Okay, I'm gonna give him a 30-day. No, I'm just kidding. I clearly give 150,000 days before I throw it back. One thing your boyfriend can do in public that would immediately make you pretend you don't know him.
Oh God. Oh God. This rapid fire is hard. This is not rapid fire.
Okay, we'll skip because we don't want to hurt your boyfriend's feelings because I really like him. All right. Would you rather date a man who doesn't take pictures or a man who takes too many pictures?
A man that doesn't take pictures.
If a
I
man,
can't do the too many pictures.
yeah, it's
I,
a lot. If a man asks, so
Mhm.
what are we? Do you A, pretend the call dropped, B, fake your own death, or C, say, I don't do labels unless they're designer?
See?
What's more humiliating? Posting your boyfriend or realizing he posted you without a filter he wouldn't even use on his car?
I'm so dead. I guess I guess the second one.
Right. I know. Like they do be posting the most like worst photos of you. Like you like men just don't even understand.
Yeah.
All right. So I got a couple more. Worst thing a man can do in public that makes you say, nah, I'm single. Loud sneezing, running with his backpack bouncing, ordering a frappuccino, or tripping over nothing.
Tripping over nothing.
I do that all the time. My shoes get stuck on the ground. If your boyfriend hard launches you before you're ready, is that a green flag, B, a red flag, C, immediate jail time?
Just like run immediately. That's my answer.
Be honest. Do you want a boyfriend or just someone tall you can stand next to in a photo?
That's too funny. I want a boyfriend.
Okay. Let's
I already have
see.
a boyfriend, so I guess
If your boyfriend said we should start a couple's TikTok, are you ending things or calling the police?
that's too funny. He's calling the police.
All right, let's see. If he says, I don't want to take pictures, do you assume he's cheating, he's hiding his face, or he's just ugly from certain angles?
Oh my God, these are funny, funny, funny ones. I don't know where you found this is incredibly funny. I guess hiding.
Um, all right, let's see. I want to see if I'm going to try to pick between these two, and then it'll be our last one. Okay, this one was right up your alley. Does your aura drop when you're in a relationship, or does it drop specifically when you pick wrong?
When you pick wrong.
All right. So that is that on the rapid fire.
Amazing. This was fun. Obviously, guys, please don't take it personal. This was a funny rapid fire.
Yeah,
Okay. It was a joke.
right. And we, again, like we said, caveat, we were not saying anybody's boyfriend's embarrassing. Meenu has a great boyfriend. I've met him. He's wonderful. And I obviously want a boyfriend. So we're not saying that that is embarrassing. We are just talking about the article and saying what, from our perspective, what we thought, it meant based on trends, based on Meenu's coaching, and based on my curiosity in the world.
Absolutely. And I just love your brain. You're so curious and I just love it. So thanks for all the amazing questions. And thank you so much, guys, for tuning in and listening to our babbling.
And we will be back hopefully before the holidays because we want to put out a holiday survival guide to help you guys get through the holidays because with the climate, social media, politics, all the things, we know it can be very difficult with family members, friends, significant others around the holidays. So we want to try to get together a guide so that we can get that out to y'all before the holidays. But all right, guys, that wraps up today's episode on whether having a boyfriend is the new walk of shame. If there's one thing to take away, it's this. Your relationship status should never shrink your identity, your power, or your sense of self. Post him, don't post him. That's obviously your choice. But make sure it's coming from confidence, not fear. And a huge thank you to Meenu for diving into the psychology, the humor, and the real talk behind this trend. And as always, guys, make sure you subscribe to both our podcasts. That's Babbles Nonsense and Transcend into Wellness. Share this with a friend who swears they're going to soft launch forever. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.